12 undetectable war machines transforms Mexico's most fortified drug lab into a smoldering crater in seconds. This billion-dollar fentanyl factory had poisoned American streets until President Trump declared an end. How did this happen? What unfolds when criminal overlords confront the unstoppable might of a military superpower? Operation Desert Scorpion was a perfectly planned and executed airstrike. A dozen US fighter jets, a mix of F-16s and A-10s, hit a major drug lab deep in cartel territory. This wasn't just a tactical strike, it was a big statement, a serious escalation in the long war on drugs, which had seen cartels operate pretty freely for too long. The lab, a huge complex hidden in the dense jungle, was a key hub in the cartel's production and distribution network, believed to be processing tons of illegal drugs for American streets. The precision air assault wasn't just about taking down the facility, it was about sending a clear message. The game has changed and America is ready to use overwhelming force against those fueling the devastating drug trade.
Rafael Caro Quintero, narco of Narcos, built his drug empire in the 1980s, pioneering the cartel blueprint still used today. He established major cocaine routes from Colombia through Mexico to American cities, bribing Mexican police. Quintero's ruthlessness was evident in the 1985 torture and murder of DEA agent Enrique "Kiki" Camarena, making him America's most wanted fugitive. Released from prison on a technicality in 2013, after decades, the 60-year-old rebuilt his empire from hidden bunkers in Sinaloa for 9 years, believing himself untouchable. Miguel Trevino Morales, Z40, and Omar Trevino Morales, Z42, former elite Mexican soldiers, founded Los Zetas. This cartel, operating like an army, used special forces training to terrorize and extort taxes from businesses, controlling drug routes, kidnapping, and human trafficking in northeastern Mexico. They continued operations even from prison. Vicente Carrillo Fuentes inherited control of the Juarez cartel in 1997 after his brother Amado, the Lord of the Skies, died through plastic surgery. Vicente's power stemmed from controlling the drug trade's most valuable real estate, the bridges connecting Juarez to El Paso, Texas. This control and the cartel's deep corruption of police, judges, and government officials allowed them to generate millions from cocaine, heroin, and fentanyl. Between 2008 and 2012, Ciudad Juarez became a war zone where over 10,000 people died in cartel battles.
Crime bosses, including Quintero, the Trevino brothers, and Vicente, believed their hidden bunkers made them invisible. Quintero used mountain caves with satellite internet, the Trevino brothers built underground command centers, Vicente had fortified safe houses. However, American spy satellites detected heat signatures, cell towers recorded encrypted messages, and banking computers tracked money transfers. These analog-era crime kings face America's advanced digital military technology, a fatal miscalculation that would destroy their decades of power. On January 20th, 2025, President Trump designated Mexican cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, equating them to ISIS and Al-Qaeda. This unleashed America's full counterterrorism power, criminalizing material support with penalties up to 20 years. Maria del Rosario Navarro Sanchez, 39, was the first charged under these rules for supplying grenades and facilitating smuggling, with her golden AR-15 El Dorado serving as evidence. The message: no one was safe. The Pentagon's new authorities drastically alter America's cartel strategy. CIA can operate covertly abroad, and military commanders can plan cross-border strikes akin to bin Laden hunts. Middle East deployed surveillance, including Predator drones, now targets Mexico's borderlands, adopting anti-terrorism tech to cartel networks. Special Operations readies rapid insertion teams for high-value targets. Mexican cartels face unprecedented surveillance. Signals intelligence intercepts encrypted communications, satellites track movements, and financial investigators unravel illicit money transfers. Cartel members now fear American airstrikes due to a new terrorist designation, causing them to abandon safe houses and shift drug supply routes. This legal change allows military action against powerful cartels, who now face an enemy capable of precise aerial strikes, transforming America's drug war into an actual war.
The U-2 Dragon Lady, a Cold War spy plane, now hunts drug cartels in Mexico. Flying at 70,000 feet along Baja California, it captures license plates and intercepts all communications without entering Mexican airspace. This single flight sparked a massive surge in border intelligence, increasing monthly surveillance flights from 1 to 18 in 10 days, with Navy P-8 Poseidons joining the reconnaissance to map cartel networks. U.S. military innovations like P-8s and U-2s provide unparalleled surveillance capabilities against cartels, intercepting communications and mapping infrastructure. This technological superiority, acknowledged by Mexico, allows American spy planes to systematically catalog cartel operations from international airspace, generating vast data for targeting. F-22 Raptors carrying precision munitions reposition versus surgical strikes. The psychological impact on cartels is profound. Panic, abandoned safe houses, and shifted supply routes. This transforms counter-narcotics strategy from reactive law enforcement to proactive military targeting, providing real-time surveillance of criminal networks. An invisible enemy, like the cartels, is now in the crosshairs, but surveillance is merely the beginning of the battle. President Trump threatens 25% tariffs on all Mexican imports by February if Mexico doesn't crush cartels, jeopardizing $400 billion in trade. This ultimatum forces President Sheinbaum to act, as U.S. military assets mass on the border, posing an existential threat to Mexico. Sheinbaum publicly rejects U.S. military intervention, citing the 1914 Veracruz occupation and its casualties, with officials privately echoing a sentiment. Yet she secretly greenlights CIA surveillance flights from a secure facility near the Capitol, a contradiction to satisfy U.S. intelligence demands. Mexican officials balance preventing unilateral strikes with maintaining public opposition to military action to preserve national dignity. Mexico sent 10,000 troops to its northern border to hunt cartels, mirroring an American strategic interest. Checkpoints increased with politically unthinkable search protocols. In a shocking pre-dawn operation, Mexico extradited 29 drug lords to the U.S., including Rafael Quintero and Vicente Carrillo Fuentes. Former DEA Chief Mike Vigal called this historic, seeing it as Mexico's bid to avoid economic penalties. Mexico's unprecedented extradition of 29 high-security prisoners to the U.S. was a militarily precise operation, timed to coincide with high-level U.S.-Mexico talks. This act of good faith during negotiations to avert economic disaster led Trump suspending tariffs for 30 days, contingent on Mexico increasing troops in anti-fentanyl operations. However, a new, more dangerous face of the crisis looms, with U.S. forces already targeting their next objective.
Deep within Sinaloa's jungle, a fentanyl lab pulsed with deadly activity. Masked workers prepared lethal powder for transport, hidden and seemingly untouchable. Meanwhile, 12 F-22 Raptors, invisible to radar, streaked 30,000 feet above. Their lead pilot received precise coordinates from onboard computers, targeting the barely visible jungle below. F-22s armed with GBU-39 smart bombs were tasked with surgically eliminating a fentanyl lab to minimize collateral damage. This silent strike, authorized by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth after intelligence confirmed the facility's production of fentanyl capable of killing 10 million Americans, was meticulously planned using CIA coordinates and justified by military lawyers based on precedents from strikes against terrorist camps. Execute, the order came. 12 GBU-39 payloads vanished into cloud cover. Seconds later, explosions rocked the jungle. The chemical lab ignited, turning the facility into a smoking crater the size of a swimming pool. Utter annihilation. The real terror was the silence that followed. No jets, no warnings. The sky delivered judgment, then closed forever. Radio signals jammed, cell towers went dark.
drones captured only the aftermath, twisted metal and complete obliteration of a billion-dollar operation. Whispers of "they know where we are" spread through cartel communications. Laboratory workers and supply convoys scattered. The invisible strike paralyzed operations as leaders realized American military technology made nowhere safe. F-22s returned undetected after delivering their blow, while ground crews refueled for the next target. America's drug war strategy has fundamentally shifted. Cartels, once protected by geography and corruption, now face advanced military technology, invisible aircraft, and satellite precision, an enemy they cannot see, touch, or defeat. This is no longer law enforcement. It's a new era of warfare. Thanks for watching. While you're here, please click the link on your screen to check out another one of our videos. See you there.